and a 1. What's happening, everybody? It's the Life Gang Avengers of Current Culture. It's me. It's that living legend, Larry. And remember, next year we're changing our name to the Dinner Club or something special like that because we're going to be bringing y'all those hits. My brother Larry, the living legend, how you feeling?
Man, I'm hanging in there. It is Friday. I feel like it's been a long week or something, man. Like I'm tired. You know?
Man. Yeah.
I need this. I need the people in the comments section to give me a nice pick me up or something.
Hopefully they can do that. If not, I'll try to throw at least 1 or 2 good zinger in the joint today. I get you more zingers than they did in the debate last night. I'm good for at least two a video.
There we go. There we go.
And so just to let the people,
as tired as I get, no matter how tired I get, there's always one thing that reminds me that I'll be all right. And that is knowing that Killmonger is the rightful ruler of Wakanda.
Here we go.
I mean, things may have gone awry, but at least we know there are some things that are consistent in this world, and that's one of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to this program, whenever he starts talking that bullshit about Killmonger, this is what he's looking for. He's looking for
Go ahead
this.
and burn all that.
My king, we cannot do that. It is our tradition.
When I tell you to do something, I mean that shit. Burn it all!
I'm beginning to think that Killmonger is his favorite comic hero. That's what I'm beginning to think.
I think he might be at this point. I think he might be. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that I appreciate a little bit more.
What about
I'm having a hard time at this moment.
I thought you liked Thanos.
I do like Thanos. Thanos is an environmentalist, but yeah, that's hard between those two.
Okay.
I like them both.
Okay. Well, in any event, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a couple of good topics we're going to talk about today. Number one, Jennifer Hudson basically came out and slammed Cynthia Erivo. Y'all might remember her from playing Harriet Tubman in the very last iteration. She's a European Black actress. Basically, they're both doing a biopic of Aretha Franklin, and we're going to see if what she said was fair or foul. We've got confirmation on Lovecraft Country. Atticus is not coming back. We heard it from the man. Yeah, Atticus is not coming back. Just cancel Christmas on that one. And we've also got some news about Aldis Hodge. The brother that played in Underground and some other great shows. He is going to be Hawkman in the Shazam movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Excuse me, the Black Adam movie. And I'm happy to see them portray Hawkman as a black character because he's going to knock that out the park. Then that seems solid. Yeah, then we got a B.B. King biopic being played by the guy y'all might remember from Waiting to Exhale that gave short, dark-skinned, fat brothers a bad name. Yeah, that brother. But he's a damn good actor, and we'll weigh in on if we think he can pull the ropes as B.B. King. But
he was on The Wire too, I think, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, big time on The Wire. He a big Wire spot. He's on the Amazon show right now with John Krasinski. That show is pretty good. He can act his butt off. So we'll get this thing kicked off with a little Lovecraft, and we'll get that debate going right now. Yeah, that good brother right there did an interview with Entertainment Weekly. Jonathan Majors, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what it says. He clarifies Atticus' fate at the end of the season is sealed. Atticus is dead. He's not coming back. Jonathan Majors says he's got other things he's going to pursue. He's very thankful that he had this role because he didn't know it was going to get the fanfare that he got. But as of now, he's telling everybody the character is dead. Larry, are you okay with this? Do you think he's lying? How do you feel about it?
No, I'm okay with it. I mean, the way they took him out, if they were going to take him out, it seemed like a very final way to do it, They pretty much drained him of all of his life force and killed him off. And he did it in such a way that he sacrificed himself for his family. So he went out like an honorable man. I sort of speculated that he was going out permanently, because when you looked at what he had going on, it looked like he had movies and stuff that were in the works. And so it's just like you only have time for so many projects, and so if you have something else that, especially movies, it seems like, some people like TV. There's certain people like Kristen Bell. It seems like no matter how many movie offers she gets, she seems to like TV and comes back to it. But there are some people that are just like, I want to be a movie star, know? Yeah. And so, and that's where, even in Hollywood, it's sort of, that's where all the prestige is being a movie star. And so if you get that opportunity, then you go become a movie star. I think it's changed a little bit because TV's gotten so much better, and you now have all these big time directors, people that normally only direct movies, coming over and directing TV and writing TV series. So things have got changed a little bit, but I still think there's a lot of people out there that just want to be movie stars. And honestly, it's probably more lucrative. If you can go and make a movie and make, $5 or $10 or $15 million for probably what is equivalent to about 3 months of work, versus having to spend, 6 months or 8 months working on a series, why not?
Well, this particular subject that you're talking about, TV versus movies, is definitely going to be in the next block because of what Jennifer Hudson said in her remarks about the Aretha Franklin biopic. In terms of Jonathan Majors and Atticus, I'm fine with it. Like I said, you could do another series with his son being his legacy. And I think what happens when they kill these characters, we tend to fall in love so much with the actor portraying the character. And he did a hell of a job playing Atticus. He makes these actors do such a good job. These young Black actors, might I add, do such a great job that you can't envision anyone else playing the character. So I wouldn't want to see anyone else come in and be Atticus unless, they're doing a time loop showing Atticus when he was like 10 or something, which would have to be a different actor. But I'm fine with the way it ended. There's plenty of story they can pick up from. I hate to see Jonathan Majors go, but I will follow him in whatever he does because he knocked it out the park in this one. In the same breath that we talk about Power and Ghost's character being dead. Excuse me, James St. Patrick's character being dead, because Tariq's the new ghost, but James St. Patrick, he's done. Similarly to what Jonathan Majors is saying, he wants people to see what he can do in Hollywood. TV was good. It catapulted him. He enjoyed what he did. It made him a household name and icon, but he wants the schedule of doing Hollywood movies, and I wish them both well. So I'm fine with it. Lovecraft has so many other directions they can go in this story. Like, we need to know more about the Book of Names. Like, they can get into that. We can go we can go traverse their multiverse that they have going on. We can see his son. They can pick up on a story where the son is like 18 years old. He's enchanted with so much more power than his dad because of the legacy of Christina's heritage with his dad's heritage, and he's the last one of all that. We could do stories like that. So I'm fine with it. I wish that brother well, and I'll follow him wherever he goes.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's not to say that we won't ever see him back, because we've seen throughout this first series this first season that they've shown us the ancestors throughout there. The very first episode, they started off showing us the ancestors with the young woman that was pregnant running through the fire, and then they showed them in the house when they went back to Tulsa, and they've shown it throughout the series, these little blips where they have the ancestors sort of show up. So it's it's not as if he couldn't come back as one of the ancestors. It's not like that Letty couldn't conjure him back if she needed him for something or to talk to him. For all we know, he's in that space, that astral plane that they created sort of as a safe place. And maybe Letty just misses him and decides she's gonna go visit him and hang out. I mean, she knows how to use magic, so
or at any point in time, they can go get him from one of the other universes, Earth 504, anything like that. So
right,
you know, and in terms of him
coming, Earth 308's like.
How about for all my people in Greenville, Earth 252? or for my folks like Buzz, how about Earth 703? That's what we want.
Right, Earth 703. 703, right there.
Now, before we get out of here on this subject, Muchella told me to make sure I let you guys know Jonathan Majors has joined the MCU. So I mean, you really can't do much of anything else once you jump into that MCU, especially with the way they're trying to handle their stories with COVID. So, you know, I can't knock the brother, but I'm going to wish him well. And Larry, we're going to move on because we've got something else. You've already catapulted into TV versus movies. And Jennifer Hudson just let a statement out of her mouth that some are damning her, some aren't, but we'll discuss it. But first, take a look at how she felt about doing the biopic of the late, great Aretha Franklin. Yep. So she said all that, right? But here's the dilemma, Larry. National Geographic is doing a TV miniseries with Cynthia Erivo, and they asked Jennifer Hudson what was her opinion of it, and this is what Jennifer had to say. Jennifer Hudson on the dueling Aretha Franklin projects. If it's not on film, it ain't nothing. Wow. It's not nothing. Larry, is there any truth to that?
I mean, if you're talking about doing a real biopic like that, I mean, a movie versus a TV miniseries, you know, I mean, it's just me. I'm not the biggest fan of Cynthia Erivo or whatever. I'm not the biggest fan.
You and a whole lot of other black people.
Yeah. I don't want to dog her because, I mean, I'm sure she's a fine actress and all. I'm just not the biggest fan. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, this may sound jacked up for some people, but I'm kind of tired of seeing these British and European black folks coming over here playing American black folks, and they don't fully understand the history. They don't understand the, you know, what people have gone through over here, and they come over here with a sense of entitlement and they look down on black Americans in a lot of ways, and they just I don't feel like, sometimes I just don't think they can really play the roles with the right heart because they just don't get it. And even though they may be fine actors, I'm just not sure that they get it. And I mean, I understand from a business perspective why they want to make the TV biopic and whatever. I just wish they could have found a different actor to play it. There's so many talented black actresses out there that can sing. There's so many talented black singers that can act. I just wish they would have found an American one. So,
well, for me, I'm gonna say hail to the no, Jennifer Hudson, because there have been some iconic TV miniseries that outrank movies in terms of viewership. And there have been some award-winning TV miniseries that outrank the viewership and the awards won by movies. So having said those things, if this biopic you're doing, it's got to be better than a TV series for that statement to be solidified. I mean, you can make the statement all you want. As of now, is your opinion. But after both have been watched, the TV series and the movie, that's when we can solidify if your statement holds water. Because we're talking about Aretha Franklin's biopic, and you have said that if it ain't a movie, it ain't nothing. Well, I disagree with that. If the TV series is better than the movie, then your movie ain't nothing. Now, I want it to be good, and I don't see how it can be bad, because Jennifer Hudson can blow her ass off. You know, you hear what I'm talking about?
I would rather have her. When she's been working with, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would rather have Jennifer Hudson on an 18-wheeler for a horn than to have the damn horn that they come with on the 18-wheeler, because that chick can blow.
She can blow.
I love her in Dreamgirls. She got an Oscar. And that part when Eddie Murphy said, "Shit, I knew you had it." We all knew she had it. You could see her getting it from the gut. And Forrest Whitaker is in the movie. Marlon Wayans is in the movie. Heather Headley, who can sing her ass off, is in the movies. And then you've got the one that a lot of y'all call the queen of R&B, which I don't agree with. Mary J. Blige is in the movie to put a little stank on it. So I don't see how the movie is going to be bad. But it's at this point, because Jennifer Hudson has put a mouth on it, it is going to have to stand out more than the TV show. Larry, I'll give it back to you.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it does really well. I think there's something that's interesting about it that's going to make it probably stand out from the others, and that is that Aretha herself has blessed this movie and blessed Jennifer Hudson as they've been working together on it for over a decade. Right. And that's a big deal. I mean, when you talk, they showed that in that trailer. They showed that part talking about respect, and I'm thinking about how much respect must Jennifer Hudson feel when Aretha Franklin has basically said, "Yeah, I choose you to play me."
Right.
I mean, she is by far what everybody thought as the queen of soul. And when someone like that says, "I want you to play me," I mean, you must feel like I mean, I'm sure the pressure is still there to do this right and to get it right. But at the same time, you must really feel like, I could do this. I can absolutely do this.
Yeah, man.
So I mean, she has to be rolling in there with her confidence peaking. And so anything else is going to feel like, I'm sure if you've been working on this thing for 15 years, like she said, and you feel like you're there, and then somebody else comes in with some other TV thing that they probably threw together in the last year or 2 or 3 years or something, you probably feel like they're just half-assing it. So I don't know. I would have rather have seen. I still would have. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna watch the TV one. I might. I'm just not a big fan of what's her name. I'm just not a fan. So it's just not a fan.
I'm gonna watch both of them. Since Cynthia Erivo doesn't move me, she doesn't dissuade me either. She's just a regular actor, so it's not gonna bother me. I'm gonna check out both, especially now that Jennifer Hudson has laid down the groundwork. My folk Mike Willie has a question for us, Larry. He wants to know, is it bad timing for them both to come out around the same time?
Yeah, but it's probably I mean, I'm sure there's some reasoning for it. I'm sure it's coming up around Aretha's birthday or some I don't know. I'm sure there's some significance to the dates that they're coming out around. So, but generally, yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, anytime you have dueling stories, it's sort of like, I think it was last year when they had those 2 documentaries that came out about the Fire Festival. And one was like, I mean, it was confusing for the audience because you have one that was sort of like the authorized one, or the other one was sort of authorized but not authorized, and they were on different networks, and people were like, "Oh, I saw it already." They were like, no, you have to see the other one on such and such network. Really? There's 2 of them? And then so you might have people thinking, "Oh, I saw it already," then they realize they didn't see the one that they thought they wanted to see. And
man, I saw both of those and I enjoyed both of them. I think that one could catapult the other one. It just depends on which one comes out first. I would like to see the TV. I like to see the TV show one come out first, and then we go get a good helping of all those stars on big screen to see that last. That'd be the dessert. So
when you mean big screen, you mean like 50-inch or 65-inch or 70-inch, right? Because we're not going to movies.
Y'all can pull up to my crib, and I got to drop down 122-inch if you want to with the surround sound.
Go.
So
there you go.
Hey, I'm with it, and I think that Jennifer Hudson, I think, can speak, like you said, Larry, with confidence, hell, a little bit of arrogance, because we know good and damn well Cynthia Erivo cannot blow like Jennifer Hudson, and when they have those singing sessions, we know Jennifer Hudson is really singing them, and it ain't no T-Pain box involved. So Jennifer Hudson knows she can speak with all kinds of confidence when it comes to at least that very part of the show. And I'm interested. We'll have to readdress this one, Larry, when it happens.
Yeah. Lock 121 in the comment section is saying Fantasia as Patty. I feel like if Fantasia's gonna play Patty, she got to gain about 100.
No, Patty ain't that big. Patty ain't that big.
Patty used to be. I feel like Patty used to be a bit bigger, but Patty also she got to get a breast jog. Patty's got that like some serious chest. She's seriously chesty.
Man, she could be Patty from the late 80s when she was a Dwayne Wayne's mom on A Different World. She was regular size. She can be that Patty. You know, the Michael McDonald Patty. I want to see that too. I also want to see. I want to see Anita Baker's biopic too.
Ooh.
I want to see Anita Baker's biopic.
Man, how about a Sade biopic? And let Sade play it from her like time when she was a teenager to today. She'll still look the same.
Miss Chris the Sis said Kiki Wyatt can hit Patty's range, but she don't have her look. And Kiki Wyatt crazy as fuck. I mean, Kiki Wyatt is crazier than a bag of grapes. Man, you know. No. I seen that show. You ain't think I seen that show where she got that husband and all them damn kids and her craziness, and she be crying and she be taking her eyebrows and cutting it all the way to the back of her head? No.
What?
No, man, that chick is crazy, bro. That chick is crazy.
What show is that?
Kiki, it was a show with her and like some of the old divas. They had Faith Evans. It was one of those shows on I think. But man, look it up, bro. She is crazy. But you know what they say about them crazy girls, Larry? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, bro, it don't get no better than in you know where else with them crazy girls.
People love crazy girls, just like women love bad boys. Dudes love crazy girls.
Yeah, not me. No. Not me. I like mine sane and playing on the life games. That's how I like it.
Yeah.
Keep it
There's something to be said for consistency.
There it is. Miss Krista Sis said it. R&B Divas is what it was. And
R&B Divas.
Yeah, she was nuts, bro. So we'll move right along, people. Let me see here. Trisha C.
Shout out to Trisha C. Giving a shout out to my shirt. Appreciate that.
See, Larry, every time you want to give up on her. Every time you want to give up on her, she comes back and shows you love.
She does. I'm starting to feel like I'm starting to feel like the new T streams over here.
Yeah, man. All right, people. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Be sure to follow me and Larry. Subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to mine. And please join me on Instagram. Send me messages. Check out the stuff I put up there about the baby. I communicate with most of you guys via Instagram because I can barely have any more Facebook friends. So follow me on the gram. Next one, we're going to talk about another legend, a king at that. BB King is getting the biopic. And for y'all new school folks that follow us that don't know nothing about this legend, take a look at this. He died a couple of years ago, so it's somewhat sad, but this will give you context as to the gravity of the man, BB King. Uh-oh.
It's hard to imagine the blues.
We're having technical difficulties.
I can see it.
Oh, okay, my bad.
It's hard to imagine the blues without B.B. King. The legendary blues man released over 50 albums with hit songs such as The Thrill Is Gone and Let the Good Times Roll.
You done me wrong, baby. Gonna be sorry.
Born Riley B. King in Mississippi, he worked as a tractor driver in the cotton fields before embarking on his musical career. He began recording in the 1940s and became known as Blues Boy King, and then more simply, B.B. King. In 1956, at the height of his popularity, he played an astonishing 342 one-night stands.
Whole lot of loving, baby, just waiting for you.
He continued a rigorous touring schedule into his 80s. King's persistence and passion for the blues paid off, winning 15 Grammys.
It always feels very, very good to go on stage, whether you win a Grammy or not.
Throughout the years, King worked with various artists like Rockers U2 on the song When Love Comes to Town, and with Eric Clapton on the album Riding with the King.
I get a chance to learn a lot of great things from people that have so much going for them today.
In 1987, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and was also given a spot on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1990. He was rarely seen without his faithful black lacquered Gibson guitar, Lucille.
This is my girl, Lucille.
The gifted guitarist became the first blues musician to be honored with the Kennedy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1995. President George W. Bush also honored King in 2006 with the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his musical contributions.
Been around a long time, a long, long time.
King's health was sometimes a concern since he was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in his early 60s.
To me, blues is a type of music that's like a tonic. It's good for whatever ails you.
In 2012, President Obama hosted a concert celebrating blues music. B.B. King was one of the featured performers.
The king of the blues, Mr. B.B. King.
You only live once, and when you're dead, you're done. Let the good times roll.
With a career spanning over 50 years, B.B. King let the good times roll.
Good time roll. Good time roll. Good time roll.
Well, I don't know what happened to Lamont. I think he dipped out on us, so I guess I'm taking over the show.
No. Oh, hell no. No, ladies and gentlemen, there would be no solo projects with Larry. Now, as I was saying before Larry tried to take over the show, they're going to be doing a B.B. King biopic. And the brother that they're getting to play was a brother who completely embarrassed short, fat, dark-skinned brothers. But he can act. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Did he embarrass y'all?
Wendell Pierce.
He just try and get it in.
No, man. Now, for those of you that remember Wendell Pierce, he was the dude in Waiting to Exhale that got to smash Layla Rashawn. First, he was fat, short, dark-skinned. And she said his penis was little. She had to squeeze her vagina. And then he only lasted 30 seconds. They put every trope in that thing. But you know what? That was acting. And me and Biggie took being short, fat, and black to a different level back when I was real heavy. So we ain't even sweating that no more. But this brother can act his butt off. He's been in, what was the one you said? Damn it. The Baltimore show, Larry?
The Wire.
The Wire. He's on a show right now with John Krasinski on Amazon. I don't know if he can sing or not.
Oh, he's on that. He's on the Tom Clancy joint.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, Larry, can Wendell Pierce pull off B.B. King?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, because the dude can act. It's just a matter if he can sing or not. But
hey,
so we'll have to see how it goes down. I mean, I don't think that what's his name could sing. I don't think T'Challa could sing, but he's able to play James Brown.
That's true.
So,
that's true. Oh man, Trisha C said they could have got David Mann. Yeah, but I don't think he's as good of an actor as Wendell Pierce. Wendell Pierce is like, he's been up for Academy Awards. The brother can act his butt off.
They could have got Winston Duke to do it too.
Oh, can he sing though?
I don't know.
Yeah, you could have.
But he has the look.
Yeah, he does have the look. And I think that might be what they're going for. But we'll see. I mean, you've got the T-Pain box out there nowadays. You can lip sing. You can do covers. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. But, hey, I wish the brother well. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a lip syncing situation. I think we've gotten used to some of these situations where with black folks we always have to be better than everybody else and be multi-talented. So I think we've gotten used to seeing these actors that can sing and can act and dance and everything else. And so when you have someone like Jamie Foxx who comes out and plays Ray and wins an Oscar, I mean, the dude can sing and he can act, and
he's a comedian.
So
I mean,
we get spoiled in sometimes. So just to have an actor act sometimes feels like, well, can he pull off the role? But I mean, there's, for so many other movies when people need to play a singer, they just have someone else do the singing part of it, and then they just have the actor lip sync it. It's not like it's a big deal. They just, they've been doing it for a long time. I just feel like maybe black folks haven't always done it because they didn't need them. They didn't need them to. They always had such great multi-talented people. So,
and let me tell you something. Jamie Foxx in his heyday when he did Ray, I guess that was like the late 2010, right around there. I went to see his ass in concert. Let me tell you something. This brother did an hour of comedy. He did an hour of doing Ray. He did an hour of playing the piano. Then he finished with singing. I ain't say singing. I said singing. I mean, that was one of the best concerts I had ever been to because you got 3 different entertainment venues from one guy, and it was very cool. So I enjoyed that. Yeah. And he brought Tank with him. That was his homeboy back in those days.
All right.
So
Miss Chris the Miss says if Anthony Anderson hadn't lost all that weight, he could do it. If Anthony Anderson hadn't lost all that weight, he probably wouldn't be here with us today.
Yeah, he
needs to lose that weight to stay so we can keep on laughing at his jokes, man.
Yeah,
dude was big for a minute. He
was one who definitely fit the profile of needing to have gastric bypass. The only thing I wish he would do now is lift a little bit of weights, man. Just because you lost the weight don't mean you look good taking your shirt off every 5 minutes on Blackish, bro. Lift the little weights, then take your shirt off and stuff, bro. But I mean, I'm happy that he's healthier. I'm happy that he's healthier. And Trisha C said Ruben stuttered. I would rather see Ruben play Luther Vandross. That's what I want to see. I want to see Ruben play Big Luther because they both have a similar voice. So that's what I want to see Ruben Studdard do, play Big Luther. And y'all know
what happened with Ruben Studdard. Where's he been at?
Man, he got around the wrong people in terms of writers and people helping him do his music. He dropped the album, I think, either earlier this year or last year. It didn't do much. He's just not been around the right people to help promote his career properly. Because I mean, the brother can sing. I mean, he can sing. And it ain't no reason why he shouldn't be doing anything right now. He can sing.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see. Now we got one more story. Boys, black folks is doing a lot of stuff in Hollywood nowadays. Y'all know this brother from the underground, amongst other great shows. This is Aldis Hodge. He has been cast into the DC cinematic universe to be Hawkman. And he's going to be in the Black Adam movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And for those of you who don't know the DC comics, Black Adam is the adversary of Shazam. And Black Adam is not necessarily a bad guy, but he's kind of one of these guys who's had events turn him to unleash his powers in the wrong manner. And then he wants to protect his family. That's kind of his art. And he did have a battle with the Hawk people. If you've watched Justice League, the cartoon, you're familiar with Hawk Girl. And Hawkman is someone from that same race. And they had a huge battle with Shazam. And I'm wondering, are they going to do similar story art? But Larry, how do you feel about this brother here, Aldis Hodge, playing the Hawkman on the screen with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. I like Aldis Hodges. I like him as an actor. I think he's he seems to just have a generally good vibe about him. So I'm down with that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. I think I'm down with it too. He can act. Of course, you know I'm biased. I would have rather seen him go to the MCU. But hey, as long as he's getting in one of these universes, and you know that movie, Larry, is going to be a huge turnout, just simply because The Rock is in it.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking the same thing. A while back, I was thinking I would have liked to have seen him in the MCU. My only concern about him in the MCU is that he looks a lot like what's his name?
Don't you say T'Challa?
No, the other dude that oh man, I'm blanking on him now.
Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie, yeah. He looks a lot like Anthony Mackie to me.
Huh?
Yeah.
No, man. Anthony Mackie got the gap. Anthony Mackie is shorter than me. No.
Is he really?
Yeah, Anthony Mackie's like 5'6" or something, man.
Well, facially, to me, they look alike. So maybe
until they smile.
The audience.
Until they smile. And Anthony Mackie got that gap with a sign that said, "My next tooth is half a mile away." and that's not no dig at him, because I love the brother. That's my guy. I rocks with Anthony Mackie. That's my brother. But I don't think they look alike at all.
You know what I'm curious. I want to know if they're gonna bring not to move over to the MCU again, as it seems we often do, but I'm curious to know if they're gonna bring in like Luke Cage or Jessica Jones into the movies, because they were such popular characters. You know, the whole MCU neighborhood, the MCU neighborhood crew was such a popular thing. And even though, I mean, we know the Punisher, we know they've made Punisher movies in the past, and maybe there's likelihood they'll bring in the same Punisher. But it would be interesting to see if they'll bring in what's his name, the same Luke Cage in there, and the woman that played Jessica Jones too. She was. I think they should bring them both in.
I thought you said you hate European actors, though. Both of them are British actors.
Is what's his name a European actor too? The black dude that played Luke Cage?
Yeah, man.
Where's he from?
He's from like London or something. You've never heard him. You've never heard him talking his real dialect.
No, I'm not buying it.
Hey, well, look it up. And while
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, I think he's from Europe or something.
Michael Kohler. Let's see. Where does it say he's from? Said he attended Benedict College in South Carolina.
Okay, so he's South Carolina native.
Says he has a BA in theater and went on to study at Mason Gross School of Arts, and renowned acting teacher William something blah blah blah. After receiving his MFA degree, he moved to LA. So yeah, it's an educated brother. Dude has a master's.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm fine with it. I liked him anyway. I mean, being from Europe wouldn't have bothered me either way. But I like the dude. I love the Luke Cage story, and let's hope that they put it in there. Speaking of which, Sweet November has dropped us a very nice super chat. Shouts out to you, and shouts out to my little sister. Pay her way. It is her birthday. I will send her a text message in a minute. And she wants us to give her a good video, Larry. So, Larry, of all the videos you've seen, which one do you think we should give Sweet November?
Man, I feel like we should probably hit her with some sexual chocolate.
Here we go.
Give a big round of applause to my band, Sexual Chocolate. I believe the children are our future. Thank you. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Love of all inside of me. Yeah. Sexy chocolate.
Damn that. You must be crazy. He good. You must be crazy.
Sweet November. That's all for you. And we're going to give you one more. You get a bonus because you recognize it was my homegirl's birthday. This one right here had Larry about to fall over. He couldn't believe it.
Not deserve this type of care, though. What's she gonna do that look? I love to say that. She got a story to ball deep on y'all. Ah, no, girl, we get lactose. We don't eat all that cheese. Karen, this Uber Eats me. She's gonna try, look at her. She gonna cross her legs like it's on the motherboard at church. Girl, that shit ain't innocent. You done raped the whole turkey. Melted butter, baked for 4 hours. Ooh, look at it.
I had to give you something else that was nuts. I mean, how do you?
I can't watch that, man. When they put that cheese in there, it just looks vulgar.
Like, what the? Who the hell makes a Thanksgiving turkey? They baste it up, stick it in the microwave, and the shit comes out looking like Doritos. What?
I know, man. It did. It looked like one of those Doritos, one of those nacho Dorito tacos.
Doritos Locos Tacos is what the turkey came out looking like. What in the world, boy? Oh man. So yeah, we appreciate that. And yeah, man. So that's pretty much all the movie stuff we're going to do today. One special shout out to Tom Holland. He is recording right now one of my favorite all-time video games, Uncharted. He's going to be playing Nathan Drake. And they just released a first picture, and man, he looks just like Nathan Drake for all my gamers out there. Expect that to be a good movie. But beyond that, it is now time, ladies and gentlemen, for politics and the stock market. Larry, the living legend Larry. Talk to us about your feelings last night on the final debate, as we are 9 days away from making history and taking the country back with Joe Biden.
Yeah, I feel like last night's debate was the same BS that we saw from Trump in the first debate, just with a different tone and tenor. That's about it. But it was the same lies. It was the same BS lines of, conspiracies about Joe Biden's son and all the other crap. It's the same crap that they're throwing against the wall, except it hasn't been sticking. And they just keep thinking, well, if we throw more of it against the wall, maybe something will stick. Maybe enough of it will stick, except it's just not sticking. Now, the only thing the only sort of trap that they might have gotten Joe Biden in was the whole thing about fracking and killing off fracking and that whole industry. And people were, the Trump people have sort of seized upon that because Joe Biden basically said, yeah, he wanted to stop sort of stop some of the fossil fuel and oil production. Mm-hmm. And they made it seem that he was trying to kill the oil industry.
He didn't say, he said he wants to phase it out.
Phase it out, right. But they tried to make it seem if he was trying to kill the oil industry. And I think Joe Biden basically sort of said, no, that's not what I'm saying somewhat. But I think really and he did a good job of articulating, I think, his point to a certain degree, where he was saying, look, that we understand what direction the world is going, and we need to go ahead and transition these companies over to new different fuel types. This is what the oil industry does now. And he did a good job of trying to say, we want to make their production zero emissions. So we understand that oil is not clean. It's dirty, but there are things that you can do to make them close to zero emissions. For instance, when they're drilling, to protect, to get some of the byproduct out of the air and recapture that and use that energy, And so there's some things that I think could have probably been better articulated, but I understood exactly what he was saying. I think a lot of people understood exactly what he was saying. And I think it's just like with, not just like it, but I think it is somewhat like with Hillary Clinton and the coal miner situation. You just have to come to some realization. I think this is a difference with Joe Biden saying this now about the oil industry versus Hillary Clinton saying it with the coal industry. We saw what Hillary Clinton said, and they made it out to seem like she was trying to destroy the coal industry. But then 4 years later, we see that the coal industry has not recovered at all. Joe Biden hasn't, Donald Trump hasn't brought any jobs back to the coal industry like he promised. They're still gone. They're never coming back. And it's the same thing with the oil industry. that the energy sector is moving away from dirty fossil fuels. They just are, whether it be crude oil or fracking or to some degree natural gas, all of that stuff. They're moving away from it. They're moving towards solar. They're moving towards wind power,
reusable batteries. Reusable nickel batteries.
All that stuff. But they're moving away from fossil fuels. And the reality of it is that if the sooner you get down with that program as a company, the more likely you are to go ahead and succeed. And the fact that all these oil companies already have their distribution pipelines and already set up makes them perfectly situated. They may have to change the way they store and deliver the energy, but they already know how to do it. And if they don't hurry up and do it, if they just stick around and say, okay, we're just going to stick with the same model, what's going to happen is you will have new companies come in. They will become the huge companies in the energy sector, and the old dinosaurs like Exxon and Chevron and BP, all these other oil, they'll just go by the wayside because they'll have a product that nobody wants anymore.
Well, that's what's happening with electric cars, Larry. And I guarantee you, when someone gets into an electric car, compare it to a gas car, and go through the entire process of owning it, you will not want to drive gas again. Now, I'm not saying that it should be a transition. At some point in time, we're going to run out of the fossil fuel. I'm not saying it's, this year, next year, but at some point in time, you're going to run out. And you need to start using renewables. I don't understand why Joe Biden didn't just stand up there and say, he did say it to some degree, but not with conviction. Look, at some point in time, we've got to change for not just for the environment, but for longevity of life, period. We need to get the renewables. They're cheaper, they work better, and they're going to create jobs too. He did say that part, but he didn't say all the other stuff I articulated. And while you're doing the transitioning, put money in place to teach those same people who are doing oil to work in renewable energy. And that's all you got to say. It's simple as that. And you shouldn't have to say anything else, but we get caught up in this thing, Larry, that I guess nobody wants to address.
Right.
They thought this was a good debate for Trump because he wasn't as crazy as he was in the last debate. He still told, for every one lie y'all trying to say Joe Biden said, Trump told at least 5. So you caught Biden seizing up on one statement compared to 20 other things Trump lied about. And that's supposed to be equal. It's not. Right. It's not.
So let's put some of these comments up on the screen if you don't mind. Like Tressa C said up there, she said the oil stuff is tied into petrochemical companies. That's a big deal here in Louisiana and Texas. I agree. I think that in those states that is a big deal. She's saying there are major gaps in those alternatives being sustainable. We are far away from running out of oil. Here's the thing. I think what they should do this is personally what I think they should do. There really should be a national initiative to move all personal vehicles away from fossil fuels by the year probably 2025 or 2030. And they should just make it so that I personally think they should do it by 2025 because I know it's soon, but hey, it's only 2020. That still gives you another 4 years to do it. And they should just simply say, by the end of 2025, you will not be able to buy a fossil fuel oil-based vehicle in this country. You will have to buy an electric vehicle. And that will force not just manufacturers to start ramping up production. It'll force people to build out the infrastructure for charging. It'll get people's minds situated. They'll still have the tax breaks so people who are buying new cars can get them. And if you buy a regular gasoline car, maybe you have to pay a premium on it, just like you have a luxury tax on cars that get low gas mileage or whatever. Or if you buy a Ferrari or Bentley or something, you have to pay a luxury tax on there. Maybe do the same thing if you have a petrol-based vehicle. But I think if you do that, what you can then do is you can limit oil production or the use of oil for, say, for the airlines, for the military, for production of various products, because there are a lot of products that use petrol oil, obviously petrochemical stuff. You make your plastics, you make your stuff, PPE, all those types of things are made with petroleum. So it's not like we don't need petroleum. We still need it. But if you don't use it for passenger vehicles, then you need a whole lot less of it. I mean, a whole lot less. We're probably talking about cutting it in half. And so I think the biggest problem is we have all this pushback from the petrochemical companies that don't want to lose their income, and they just simply need to, and I think this is what Joe Biden was saying, they simply need to transition from one product to the other so they're not losing out. But if they don't want to change, then they just get left behind. I mean, that's basically what has happened with, I mean, look at all the bookstores that we used to have in this country. We used to have, we had Books A Million and Barnes and Noble and Borders and Walton Books and all these, and Amazon killed them off because they didn't want to get down with the new program. It's either you see a new business model coming, and you just stare at it and say, "Oh, I'm not going to change. It's going to go away. It's going to go away." Oops, it didn't go away. Oh, now my business is going away. Now we're out of business, and Amazon's the only thing left in town. I mean, that's basically what happens if you're not careful. And it seems like the government is trying to tell the oil industry, get down with this program, because if you don't, there will be new energy companies that come in that specialize in solar and wind and hydroelectric, all the other alternative forms of energy, and you guys will be left behind. Even if they're not left behind entirely, because you still need them for the production of oil for different products, or you need them for the production of oil for the military or the airline industry. They'll just be they'll be half the size that they are today, and that doesn't make them small companies, but it doesn't make them what they are today. So
Ali Abshabir said Joe Biden is very corrupt. Y'all going to vote for someone that signed the crime bill that messed up black communities? And Larry, I don't want you to say a word, because I asked this person a question. I asked him who wanted the crime bill, and when he responds to that, I'll respond in kind to what he just said. And
I'm not gonna wait.
You gotta wait.
I'm just so sick of black people with their bullshit with this.
You gotta wait.
They always want to. I'll tell you, there's always this segment of the black community that gets out there and wants to start throwing shade and shit on everybody, no matter what. They're just like, oh well, I'm not voting for the Democrats because we didn't get every single thing that we wanted, or they did this or they did that. And you're right. It was the black community that asked for that damn crime bill. It was an effed up crime bill, but it was the Congressional Black Caucus that wanted that damn crime bill. Did their white counterparts support them? Yeah. Why? Because they asked for it. How are you going to look as a white politician when you have black folks in there in Congress asking for a crime bill and you say, I'm not supporting that? They would have turned around and they would have lambasted him and said, he doesn't care about the black community. He wants us to stay, out there getting killed in the streets with drugs in our neighborhoods. He won't even do what needs to be done to help protect the black community. So he voted for it. He helped push it through. And now the crime bill went way farther than anybody expected. The problem was way bigger than anyone expected. And now they want to blame him for the deeds of, for all of it. People remember, Congress is a collective of people that serve and represent people from all over the nation. He did not do this on his own. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I hear so many people out there saying, I'm not voting for so-and-so. If you don't want to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, here's what you're doing. You are saying, I want a racist, neo-Nazi, white nationalist, KKK dude to go into the White House. He supports the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys. You were talking about a president who supports organizations that want to start a second civil war. And in case your dumbass forgot what the Civil War was about, it was keeping people like you and me in slavery. So if your dumbass doesn't want to vote for someone who wants to prevent that from happening, if your dumbass wants to allow someone to get reelected who wants to use organizations like the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys to put people like you and me back in slavery, then your ass needs to get the fuck out and go somewhere else, because people like you don't need to be here. You are part of that damn problem. And I'm going to say like they did when they started slave revolutions back in the day. They asked, who's with me? And everyone who didn't raise their hands got shot. Because that's what happens. You need to get rid of the people that will not help you, because they will hurt you. Now, I'm not saying you need to get shot. What I'm saying is if you need to get down with the programmer, you need to go sit the fuck down somewhere and shut your mouth. Don't sit up here and tell people don't vote. You don't need to tell people don't support Joe Biden. If you don't have anything to say, if you want to talk about supporting Trump, go sit your ass down somewhere and shut up. You go vote for Trump in silence. But you're not going to sit up here and tell black people not to vote so that we can have, so Trump can win and you can have the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys and all these other racist ass groups come up here and try and re-enslave us. We already saw what they tried in Michigan. They tried to kidnap the damn governor. She's not even black. She just supports black people. And then on top of that, you had local law enforcement that was supporting them. He wouldn't even go after him. He sat up there and talked about, well, it sounded to me like maybe they were trying to make a citizen's arrest. And then they show videos up there of him supporting those guys. They show the sheriff out there that's up there speaking at these people's organizations, at their meetings. And so you're talking about law enforcement that's in cahoots with these people. We are not safe out there, folks. You put someone like Donald Trump back in office for another 4 years where he doesn't have any more constraints. He can't be prosecuted for anything, and he has 4 years to wreak havoc. We are not safe. So you can talk all that crap if you want to about not supporting Joe Biden. You need to support your damn self. Think of voting for Joe Biden as supporting your own safety and security in this nation right now. You don't have to like every policy that he's voted for in the past. You don't have to like everything that he does now. But what you do need to understand is that Joe Biden is not going to allow these organizations to run amok in this country.
And well, I was going to say all that, but I was going to let whoever this person was reply to see if he actually knows what the hell he's talking about. Because most of the time when people make these wild, outlandish, I'm not voting for Biden or I'm not voting this, blah, 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 they can't even tell you what it means. That's why I asked them that. They just go with their buzzwords that they hear from right-wing entertainment without having any knowledge of what these things mean. So that's why I said that. And the second thing about
get riled up. He's probably a damn Russian bot.
Could be. And the other thing that is real important, ladies and gentlemen, we just cannot forget the Supreme Court, ladies and gentlemen. It is so important that not only the Democrats get in there and they win the Senate and the White House, but fixing that Supreme Court to expand it. Because the people that are in there right now, ladies and gentlemen, they do not have your interest. Hell, they don't have the interest of the greater good of all Americans. They have the interest of the minorities in America. When I say minorities, I don't mean black, Latinas. I'm talking about the shrinking white minority. They just blocked Wisconsin doing curbside voting. Ladies and gentlemen, had this been an issue for Republicans, they would have been, yeah, we all need to vote. But no, they blocked that. And then 2 weeks ago, the census is supposed to be finished in the end of December. They allowed the Trump administration to go ahead and say we're ending the census 2 weeks ago. Ladies and gentlemen, neither one of those things helps the greater good of all Americans. I don't understand how people can be for that unless you are for chaos, the shrinking minority, which is about to be white people, and you just like to see dictatorships, because dictators and dictatorships are formed the exact way you're seeing it happen in America. You have the party who's the minority, because Hillary Clinton still won the popular vote. You have that party putting people in place to usurp the will of the people And then when laws are made, you have their kangaroo court knock it down. It's as simple as that. And I can't.
And here's some other crap that's going on for those people out there, just to tell you how, just to show you how nasty, how insidious, how unpatriotic these people are on the right. They have been doing everything they can to prevent Americans from voting. I mean, you have had them attacking the Voting Rights Act for years now. They went to court in Texas to say, oh, we should only have one ballot drop-off location per county. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever been to Texas, but Texas is big. They joke. There's a joke about everything's big in Texas because Texas is huge. Yeah. I mean, there are counties, no joke. There are counties in Texas that are bigger than entire states in this country. So you can live in a place like El Paso County. You may have to drive 100 miles to get to your ballot drop-off location. There are people that cannot access their ballot drop box location because there's no public transportation to get there.
Nope.
It's a huge state. And no, that's just one of the things they're doing. In California, they've been putting out fake unauthorized ballot boxes that the GOP put out. They acknowledge they put them out. They have had court orders saying you cannot have them out and to remove them. And they have simply defied the court orders saying, nope, we're not going to do that. We're going to leave the boxes up. And so people are being tricked and fooled into thinking these are legitimate ballot drop boxes, and they're not. And we have no idea what's happening with those ballots. People have been going into minority neighborhoods out there in California and in different parts around the country, and they've been firebombing the ballot drop boxes. They've been burning up minority drop boxes because they know they are likely to vote for Democrats. This is what the right is doing. They're trying everything in their power to steal this election because they know they can't win it legitimately. So you think about that. When people want to start talking about who's going to be best for this country, just understand there are people who are patriots and there are people who call themselves patriots. Those people out there with all these patriot groups that are out there fighting against Americans actually voting, how do you call that patriotism? How do you call someone who wants to actively prevent Americans from voting, how do you call those people patriots? I mean, come on, folks. I mean, I can't even deal with people with their asinine comments like that. Black folks, if you seriously think like that, just stop. I mean, there's at some point you need allies, and your allies are not always going to be perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Your allies are not going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. You get the best allies that you can.
Yeah. And so, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stick a pin in it today, right there. And in closing words for both of us, if you haven't, go vote. It's very important. We want to get this country back to where the people telling you we need law and order are actually being forced to adhere to law and order. So, to that next Sex is Hell video, vote, mask up, and we'll see you.
Peace.